guys, welcome to another edition of your favorite football show. It is Tribal Football, and of course, you know my name, Edwin. And last time we were here, some people advised us to go and join one cult like that, but it's all good. I'm back here to tell you that I didn't join that cult. Maybe fans of that club, because I saw reactions on social media, and a lot of them, quite frankly, agreed with Modo that to win the Premier League, you need to involve yourself in one or two things. I don't know, but let's wait and see. We are getting closer to the end of the season. For Arsenal, it's a long wait. 2004 was the last time they won the English Premier League. Will 2026 be their year? Joining me on here today, of course, the man is back. A lot of things are going on behind the scenes, but we won't spill the whole every yet, right? Okay, the cat is still in the bag. Welcome. How you doing? I missed you.
There's one thing about he loves his cat being in the bag.
I missed you. What's up? How you doing?
I'm okay, Edwin. I'm okay. It's right. I do like my cat to be in the bag.
By the way, I like your attire.
Thank
You're
you.
looking
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
Sharp.
You're looking sharp.
Crips. Crips. That is it.
And of course, Banky is back on set. Banky, can you briefly tell us your love for jerseys?
Honestly, I don't know. I just feel like I'm always someone who prioritizes comfortability. You know, I'm always very comfortable in jerseys. Even at the office, I tend to like wear jerseys and or only when there are like important meetings that you see me in a shirt and you know.
Is this not important?
Nah, you told you guys. Nah.
Damn, he ain't dressing up for us.
But seriously, jerseys are always like right from time. You know, I don't think I can count the amount of times that I've stepped out, you know, without putting on jerseys.
Yeah.
And,
I think I've known you for 5-6 years now.
It has become my signature, you know.
Don't you think it's easy to spot you out, like for security reasons? Oh, that guy with jerseys, he's always wearing jerseys.
I'm not a security threat. You can't point me out for security reasons.
At least not to men.
Not to
anybody.
At least not to men.
Not to anybody.
All right, guys, let's get out to action. And this weekend we saw drama unfold in the Premier. So the Premier League prides itself as the best league in the world, and you have La Liga fans think otherwise, and
Not
Serie fans
La
too,
Liga.
Bundesliga fans.
Not just fans. Sant Cazorla's tweet. Did you guys see?
Yeah, but Cazorla agreed with the Premier League.
That was
the Premier League.
the La Liga is like years behind.
Behind Premier. So let's start with that. From the Santi Cazorla's.
Well, I mean, it is difficult to argue with Kazuya because I think when you talk about strength, when you talk about the financial status of the English Premier League, it supersedes whatever
Is the Premier League the best league in the world?
I don't think so. Is the Premier League the richest league in the world? Absolutely, but I don't think being the richest equals being the best. I think in terms of quality, in terms of the football on display, I think the Serie A, the La Liga, I think they're on par with the Premier League. The Premier League, I think it has that marketability vibe to it. It has that would I say?
Don't you think it gives it the edge?
No, I don't think so.
Because again, on the field, in terms of the application, the styles, and it's not just a bit different. You have cultural influences with these leagues, but overall, in terms of quality, there's no difference between Serie A and Spanish La Liga. Now, when you begin to add other intangibles, then maybe the Premier League is the best league in the world.
No, the Premier League is probably the most popular league in the world. I wouldn't agree that it's the best league in the world, and I think the popularity.
So how do you measure the best?
So best is very subjective.
Yeah.
You especially when you're talking about two different leagues. When you look at the quality of players, when you look at their, I don't want to use the UEFA Champions League as a metric, but
you must use the Champions
It is also something that you might key into. And in the last 10 years, in the last 20 years, how many English teams have gone on to win the UEFA Champions League? How many English teams have gotten to the finals of the UEFA Champions League?
More than other leagues.
No. It is not more than the La Liga.
So La Liga you are talking about two from La Liga. The Premier League have about 3 different teams that
So
have
so
won the
when you talk about
finals, they've had more
when you talk about
representation
2 from
in the
La Liga,
finals.
when you talk about 2 from La Liga,
Yeah.
it represents what we are talking about the Premier League and also the La Liga also, because the 2 teams that we are talking about from the La Liga are the richest. They are the guys who spend the more money, the most money. You know? And it's the same thing with the Premier League also. You have guys who easily can. You have a Sunderland spending 200 million, in the summer. Do you know what I mean?
So this whole money thing, I have an issue with this money thing, because it feels like right now the Premier League is doing something criminal.
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Because
the Premier League spending money now is not their fault. We saw it back then with Berlusconi and Milan. We saw it with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
No, it is not. I'm not saying it but it is an advantage. An advantage that nobody should fault them for. I don't think it should be a stigma, on Premier League teams. But you also have to consider it as a fact. Can Sunderland afford to spend 200 million in the summer? Absolutely. Can Juventus afford to? No. So it is an added advantage for the Premier League. I think the financial side of things, the gap is way too wide, and it, like I said, it continues to extend yearly. The Premier League has done a very good job right from when it sold its TV rights to Sky Sports in '92, right from the very beginning where it started believing in its own hype. The Premier League considered itself the best league in the world, even when it was nothing. Even when the Italian Serie A and every other places in Europe believed it was just a joke. The Premier League, the product itself, was considered by English fans, by the FA, by every other willing participant that it was the best league in the world, or at some point it will be the best league in the world, and they worked towards that. So I'm not begrudging them, for getting to this level in terms of their product, or getting to this level in terms of the amount of money that is coming in. I'm just saying, in terms of the quality of football, in terms of what we are watching, in terms of class of players, would you say the Premier League have better players than the La Liga? Would you say the Premier League have better players than the Italian Serie A? I don't think so.
Okay, what do you think?
So I think that the Premier League is the best, right? But I don't think it's the most exciting. And I think that, so the overall, like I said, all the intangibles, everything, the marketing, the hype train, their social media, of course, the money, it makes the Premier League the best. Now, if you want the most exciting, week to week, you want to watch something and be like, okay, that is interesting. You can watch, and I always say this, go and watch the Bundesliga, or what you say, you can watch St. Pauli versus Schalke 04 that just came back from relegation after so long, and you're going to have a fast-paced, interesting match. You can.
Hamburg. It was Hamburg.
Sorry, Hamburg. Schalke has been in the league for a while. Well, it's relatively. I think it was last season they came back up, or 2 seasons ago. But in the Premier League, let's put it like this now. Wolves are about to get relegated this season, or they will get relegated.
Yeah, they will get relegated.
8 points, I think.
Already.
Right?
Yeah.
When you watch most Wolves game, you're just going to be like, it is Wolves trying to survive. And I'm not saying that you should open out and play. No,
that's unfair.
No, hang on,
That's
Edwin. When I say this, I don't mean that because people always feel like, oh, you must play tiki-taka. No. Even in Germany, when teams that are defending, when they break to try and score goals, the bottom of the league, they will try and eventually, yes, they probably know we're fighting a relegation battle, but in games in which that we see we have a chance, we will go and go for it. What's the reason we saw Osborne?
So to make a case for Wolves and the likes, I think it is different, especially when you consider, like I said, the higher the amount of money involved, it also signifies the higher the amount of risks involved.
Yeah.
And for Wolves, them going into the championship signifies a huge loss for them. So I don't think you'd expect them to come out and start playing free flowing football. You'd expect Burnley to come out and start playing free football.
I don't think like that, and I agree with you, right? When you say that the money involved in the EPL makes things
a bit more risky.
Yeah, no, a whole lot more risky. I'm going to use two different teams now. Yeah. Nottingham Forest, when they came back to the league, they spent I think 4th or 5th most in the whole of Europe that season, right? They spent over 150 million pounds. In the last 2 seasons, I'm going to Serie now. We see that Como has spent over 100 million. Como is fighting for European spaces.
Yeah.
Because of the quality, like 100 million in Serie will get you good enough quality to do that. You can spend that 100 million like Nottingham Forest did in Leeds, first season they came out, and they spent the season fighting against relegation, because that's how it is. And I always still think that because of how in other leagues the flow of money is not as prevalent as it is in the EPL. In the EPL, you can buy a whole lot of players, and not just because of bad coaching, because the other teams have players themselves. You can spend 100 million in one summer, and you can be fighting for bottom of the table. In other leagues, you spend 100 million, unless you're Atletico Madrid, you're going to be fighting for European spaces on the league, and that's just how it is.
So it takes me to the next conversation, guys. You talk about excitement. You go to Bundesliga. Bankole, you said the Premier League and the Serie A and the Spanish La Liga on the same level. So here's the question. When you say a league is competitive, are you talking about the quality in the league being competitive compared to other leagues, or is it competitive amongst themselves? Because the MPFL is competitive. When you look at the table, today you have the first team, one club occupying the first position. The next week it has changed. That is competitive. But the main conversation here has to be about the quality. And I think, in my opinion, the only way to judge that quality in the league is the Champions League or European competitions. And if you look at the last decade, I think that's good enough sample size. If you look at the last decade, English teams have produced more teams in the finals than any other league in the last decade. The Champions League, the Europa League, and the newly formed Conference League. So maybe that's a fair tiebreaker to judge which league has been the best in the last decade.
So the thing about using the UEFA Champions League and other continental competitions to judge, they are cup competitions. I don't think it is fair to judge the strength of a league. Because it represents the teams. For example, now let's look at Villarreal, for example.
Yeah.
The Villarreal in the UEFA Champions League is very different from the Villarreal in the La Liga. Yeah. And would you say because Villarreal didn't qualify for the top 24, you say the La Liga is so I don't think so. So I think there are a lot of context to it. The UEFA Champions League, you have contrasting style of plays. Yeah. You have one-off games. You have luck of the draw. These are things that can determine outcomes. But a 38 game stretch where you are looking at teams going at it, where you are looking at the likes of Rayo Vallecano, likes of Mallorca, the likes of Osasuna, even Celta de Vigo, La Liga. These are teams who play, you would say, quality football to a certain extent. I'm not even talking about attacking football or defensive football. I'm saying generally the quality in their execution in terms of attacking and defending is really good. You go to the Serie A also. Cagliari, the level of coaching, in the Serie A, I think is the best in Europe at the moment. From Palladino at Atalanta to Italiano at Bologna, you look at the amount of resources available to these guys, and you look at the outcomes that they are achieving. So I think these are the things that you'd use to judge. I don't necessarily agree with the UEFA Champions League being a fair metric.
I didn't use only the Champions League. I said Europa.
I'm not just Champions League, even the Europa
League.
So when Sevilla was going on to win or they dominated the Europa League, they won it 3 times in a row. They did 3 peats. I didn't think it was a fair reflection of who Sevilla was in terms of European standings.
Maybe it was a fair reflection of where Serie A was, because in that moment also you had Barcelona either winning the Champions League or getting to the final later stages. You also had Real Madrid winning the Champions League or getting to the later stages. You also had a Juventus team who was dominating the Serie A, and you wouldn't tell me that Sevilla team was better than a Juventus team. Juventus were losing to Malaga in the Champions League. Juventus were losing to Celtic in the Champions League. I don't think it will take away the fact that Juventus was still one of the better teams. I think it does.
I don't think so. Even Bayern Munich.
It is down.
You can say the same thing for Bayern Munich.
It's also like a priority thing, because I remember there was a point within UEFA's standing in which, of course, Italy had only 3 teams going to Champions League, and that is because of you saw the Italian teams in the UEFA Cups, Europa League. They always down to. I remember a game in which Palermo was in the Europa League, or was it the UEFA Cup there? Palermo had the Italian Cup match.
Palermo is the UEFA Cup.
Yeah. They had an Italian Cup match on the weekend against a team that was in the third division. It was clear they were going to win. They played their second team in the UEFA Cup and played their first team in that Italian Cup, effectively saying we respect going further in the Italian Cup than the UEFA Cup. I think for some teams, for some leagues, it's just like, yeah, well, okay, whatever. It is what it is.
And up until the UEFA Europa League was an avenue to get to the UEFA Champions League, I don't think a lot of people took it serious.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going to. Since UEFA put a bigger prize attached to the Europa League, like, okay, you win the Europa League, qualify for the Champions League, teams have taken the Europa League more seriously. And if you look at that span from that time to this moment, you still have English teams either get to the final or have won it more times than any other.
So when
league.
did UEFA make that rule?
I think that was it? Just continue. Let me check it out.
Roma had gotten to the final of the Europa League
before they lost.
I know we saw Roma also winning the Conference League. Fiorentina got to consecutive finals, of the Conference League. So it is. I don't like I said. I don't think it is a fair metric, to judge the quality of the league just with cup competitions. I think there are.
I agree with you because we have seen a lot of time within cup competitions in which that some teams have a Chelsea, the perfect example. It feels like whenever Chelsea does a great Champions League campaign, their league form suffers.
Exactly.
Like it's Chelsea when they won their first Champions League, where they finished in the league that season 12th.
Even last season,
right?
Spurs won the Europa League.
Like 17th. So yeah, I think it's that some people just quickly prioritize. And for other people, when you're doing well in the league, and you feel that you can reach whatever your goal is, either a top 4 in European spaces or a Champions League space in your league over whatever European competition is, which can be 50-50. You just be like, forget the competition, look at your league.
Okay, since it became the UEFA Europa League 2009-2010 season, 3 Spanish teams have won it. 3 different Spanish teams: Atletico Madrid, Sevilla, and Villarreal. For England, you have Chelsea, Manchester United, and Spurs. That's 3-3 each. Then you have 1 Italian team and 1 German team.
What's the Italian team that won it?
Atalanta.
Atalanta.
So now, if you look at also the finals, England have more representatives in the finals since it became Europa League. So my thinking is that we don't have the best metric to judge. Now, there is something that connects every league, and that is UEFA Cup competitions. But I don't want us to dwell on it. I'm sure our viewers have 1 or 2 to say. You guys can drop your conversations, and I trust the EPL fans to come through. You guys should come through for me. I'm seated in the midst of Italian fans. Both of them Milan fans. One claims to be a Manchester United fan.
You have to be explicit about Okechukwu
claims to be a Manchester United fan.
I am a Man U fan.
You are not a Manchester United fan.
I am a Man U fan.
But as a Manchester United fan, Okechukwu, there's this joy you get when Liverpool lose. As a Manchester United fan, there's this joy you get when Liverpool lose. And
listen,
it happened this weekend.
There is a German word, right?
Okay.
It's called Schadenfreude.
Yeah, Schadenfreude, yeah.
It means joy in someone's failure. For the English, it's every time Liverpool
lose. Every time they lose.
It's a good weekend for me. Doesn't matter, as long as Liverpool are dropping points, it's a good weekend.
They lost this weekend, but beyond the results, there was controversy. And it's all about VAR. I'm sure you guys know who Sidlo is. I think it was last week, Sidlo went on a rant talking about how VAR has impacted or reduced the threshold of what a foul is. It feels like right now every contact in the box, once you go to VAR, it's a penalty. And I thought about it, and maybe there's an out of truth to what he said. Do you think VAR, since the introduction of VAR, the threshold of what an infringement is, particularly in the penalty area, has dropped significantly to the point where it is now absurd.
So the thing with VAR, right, is that in different leagues in Europe, they have a high bar or whatnot. But I think Premier League has a higher bar than the Champions League.
Really?
In some things, not for penalties, right?
Okay.
For I think, especially like if it's handball or even some fouls. That's the thing. While in Champions League, they see it in different ways. In some things, they will just be like, okay, let it go, let the game flow. And other things, they'll be like, okay, call it back. That's a record, that's a penalty, whatever you're giving. One thing I will say is that I think, especially for the Premier League, VAR is re-refereeing the game. It feels like whenever they call the ref to the VAR monitor, he's going to go the opposite. It is not that he just would 9 out of 10 times. What am I saying? 9 out of 10 times. 99 out of 100 times he will go and say whatever against whatever he chooses. It's only once in a while we see.
I saw that last week.
No, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Okay, 2 weeks ago.
When with that Man City game, in which that the referee stuck with his decision. Unlike when you say go with VAR, that he changes it. So I think that is the thing. I think that the refs, of course, the game is a whole lot more faster than ever before. There are some things understandable that the ref won't see in real time, or he doesn't think that it's as worse or as light as what he thought it was in real time. So mainly the VAR tells him go and check it out, especially when it's a penalty. When he didn't give a penalty, for the VAR to go and tell him or her, go and check it out, I feel that the ref just automatically, okay, that means I missed it, it's a penalty.
So for me, I think to a certain extent it does, reduce the threshold of what a foul should be.
Yeah.
I think it's just down to the fact that in real time there are certain contacts that do not seem bad, but when you put it in slow motion, when you put things in still pictures, it amplifies or it exaggerates, how much of a foul it actually is. You look at certain. I'm thinking of an example, the Gueye Salah situation. This weekend where a lot of people thought it was a penalty.
That was a penalty, Banco.
I don't think so.
Sorry, not a penalty, but
not the red card. Not the red card. There was one certain where he was it Gueye or Bernardo Silva. He had his hand on Salah, and then Salah just flew to the ground.
Okay, in the box. No, that was.
So I didn't think that was a penalty. But if the referee had given a penalty, I don't think VAR would have overturned that decision. So I think the application of VAR or the usage of VAR should also allow referees look at things at the pace at which it happened. I think reducing the pace or giving it a slow motion, effect, it changes the context of it. It changes what a dangerous foul should be. A normal tackle, if you start using still pictures, if you start pausing and playing, it exaggerates, the impact, or the intention of a certain player. So I think maybe that can be considered. I also think VAR is not a problem. I think the fact that there are a lot of inconsistencies between the English Premier League, the UEFA Champions League, the Italian Serie A in the usage of VAR is the problem. The application of VAR is the problem. I think there should be another law for the application of VAR. I think we are getting to the point where, like Okechukwu said, referees should be in charge of decisions in games. And now I don't think they are.
Don't you guys think it's a bit weird that we have the general law, like general rules of the games?
Yeah.
However, different associations, different leagues have their own interpretation of these laws. Don't you find it weird that in the Premier League this and this is allowed? In other leagues like the Serie A, it is not allowed.
Yeah, I think so.
I think something like if it's A in the Premier League, it should be A in the Serie A.
It's not even about the Premier League. If it's A in the Premier League, it's B in the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That is even. I think there should be one law that governs all. Especially in a sport like football. I don't think it is. The game is as complicated as a lot of people are making it out to be. I think the amount of or the quality of laws that we have is sufficient. To govern all leagues. I don't think it's that difficult. I don't think it's that complicated. A handball should be a handball. A offside rule should be an offside rule. A penalty call, should be a penalty call. Yes, there should be allowance for discretion.
Yeah.
Yes, there should be, the referee going with his instinct and all. But I also think in a sport like football where there are several moving factors, the level or the elimination of discretion should be top priority. When you consider that if a referee uses his discretion and goes the wrong way, it can lead to a team winning a title or a team getting relegated. So I think our aim, or the aim of FIFA or whoever it is that are in charge of these laws, should be reducing the human error to the minimum. And we've seen it in other sports. We've seen it in tennis, where the umpire or whoever it is that is in charge does not really necessarily make mistakes anymore. Not because they are superhuman, but because they are setting contingencies plans that eliminate all of these things. And in football, we've done it with the introduction of VAR, the introduction of technology might help, the introduction of goal line technology also. But I think it has to be much more straightforward. It has to be much more where you don't have human beings still making decisions at the end of the day, because the VAR you still need a human being to apply the rule of the VAR, or the usage of the VAR. The referee is still up to the referee or the video assistant referee to determine the outcome of that particular situation. So I think if you can just find a way to limit that, find a way to I don't want the game to be robotic, but when you look at the errors of referees these days, it tends to annoy you, especially in the English Premier League, a league supposedly regarded as the best in the world. Same thing for the Italian Serie A. It's not just in Premier League.
I know you have a beef with Premier League.
I think that should be the priority: eliminating human error.
Should Riancheki's goal have stood Okechukwu?
No. That's because of that first foul that Szoboszlai did by dragging back Haaland, right? If he entered and that was the only thing they would have given it. But Haaland then committed the foul by dragging back Szoboszlai as he was about to clear it from the line, right? And the ref has to put that into consideration. So in checking that, you are not like, okay, that was a foul, but there was a foul before it. So it means it cancelled out. And I know some people were like, well, it doesn't matter. It still entered anyway. Let's not forget that they gave a free kick, yes. They gave a free kick. Let us say it was Cheki that took the free kick. Let us say he took it and he shot it into the wall. And there was 10-15 seconds left. Shot it into the wall, and immediately Liverpool break and counter, and they score and they equalize. That is it. We literally see this kind of things happen.
So I think Bankole agrees with you, right? You agree with him that, but again, let's look at the final action that we pull on Szoboszlai from Haaland. I don't think Szoboszlai would have gotten to the ball. So that's now if you can, because again, these referees, they use their discretion for Dokso. They look at the distance to the ball,
the pace of the ball
and stuff like that. When you consider all of that, they use their discretion and say, this is a denial of a goal scoring opportunity. If Haaland did not pull Szoboszlai, I don't think Szoboszlai would have stopped the ball.
I think he would have.
I think he would have.
I think he would have.
I think it was close enough.
So this is how I thought about it. You have two players going towards the goal, or chasing the ball, who that's heading towards the goal, and you have Szoboszlai who impeded Haaland. A clear goal scoring opportunity. And I think the referee allowed that advantage. I think he saw that there is still a chance that Haaland could get to the ball before Szoboszlai, regardless of whatever might have happened in that first phase of play. And yet Haaland could not get to the ball because he also had to foul Szoboszlai. So here's the thing: it is a clear case of following the rule to his letter. And you cannot referee a game using emotions, using the feeling of the crowd, to destroy the spirit of the game. I don't think so. So I think after allowing that advantage, the moment Haaland fouled Szoboszlai, the advantage was gone. And you cannot let that go unpunished. You cannot let the foul, a red card, go unpunished because what? Because it's a goal. Then so I also think that it established why we need VAR. Referees are human beings. They can get carried away. They can get distracted. The sound, or the noise from Anfield, the noise from opposing team, the celebrations can get to them, and he might want to look away, from all of those things. But with the VAR, it is quite clear that they understood that something happened, and the law had to be applied there. And I absolutely agree. You can't overlook something.
But the law was not applied in Gay's situation where Salah was through on goal, he pulled him down.
I don't think that was a red card.
That was a red card.
I don't think that was a red card.
Now, That's a red card. That's a clear denial of a goal scoring opportunity.
But also, while that might be, I also thought that Ruben Diaz may have gotten there in time.
Again, if you thought Diaz would have gotten to the ball, you talked about, you brought up the whole conversation of, they shouldn't slow down the picture or use a still frame or blah, 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 blah. I think the only reason why you guys are saying this is because in the moment where that phase of play happened, there was a still picture of that phase of play. And if you use that still picture, it takes away the reality of what happened. Because we know Salah is faster than both Diaz and Gueye. Salah had the advantage. And crucially, there were two Liverpool attacking players in the box. All Salah needed to do was either shoot at goal or lay a pass to his attacking teammates. That was a clear denial of a goal-scoring opportunity.
This is what I feel. I think you look at the angle at which the foul happened.
Yeah.
It was a very difficult angle to start.
Edwin, I don't agree.
I think it was a very difficult angle.
I don't agree.
And I think I think there is a possible at the end of that phase of play.
Yeah.
There is a possible scenario where either Gueye or Ruben Diaz would have blocked whatever it is Salah is trying to do or intercepted his pass.
In that attacking phase of play, there was a reason why the ref gave a free kick. He gave a free kick because Salah was...
He gave a free kick because Salah was fouled by Gueye.
And it was strong goal. He was strong goal. The only reason why he didn't get a red... the only reason why he was given it as a free kick was because it was outside. In the box is a penalty. I will establish that. Now, for Salah, don't forget that we have to apply context here. Salah has a reputation of scoring from that angle. Salah is faster. Gueye was flat-footed. Gueye out of the picture. You have Diaz. Now, it's a case of, is Diaz fast enough to block Salah? Or is Salah fast enough to either hit the ball, shoot the ball, or lay it off to his teammates? Who are you backing in that situation?
So here's the thing.
No, like who are you backing in that situation?
The angle. First of all,
Edwin.
Edwin. The angle plays into this. The possibility of Salah getting a shot off without Diaz and or Gueye coming back into that phase of play is lesser than him getting a shot off with
I don't agree.
No, because yes,
I don't agree.
I think because of the angle, because of the
Edwin. You're talking about the angle.
No. The angle is very important. No. The reason why I keep emphasizing on the angle because Salah's body orientation would also have to change. If he's to take a shot, he was going on a straight line, and if he's to take a shot or a pass,
he was not going on a straight line.
His body orientation will change, which would provide maybe a split second.
I know there's a gang
for Diaz
there's
or
Milan versus
to intervene.
But that's again, it's not a penalty. What do you think, Okechukwu?
I thought that
no red card.
No
red card.
Yeah. I thought that Ruben Diaz will have covered it anyway.
Again, we're going to our listeners. They have to decide this. You guys, was there a red card or not? Let us know. See with Liverpool. And the slot has gone from the toast of the town to the...
So Anna Slot.
Bankole, this is going on YouTube. Anna Slot has gone from the toast of the town to the villain in the movie. Liverpool fans, now, one of my happiest moments is going on social media, and you see Liverpool fans and when they crash out. Now, do you think Arne Slot has exhausted his currency? The whole league win, that face is out, and right now he's hanging on to his job.
I think we still have enough credit in the bank to not get sacked in the middle of the season. I think at the end of the season, if he doesn't get Champions League football, I think then you can start considering sacking him, because you look at the managerial market, you look at the managers available at that point. You have Xabi Alonso, you have Thomas Tuchel, who will be running out of his contracts with England. You have Nagelsmann also, who will be running out of his contracts with Germany. So at that point, I think Liverpool will be forced, to make a decision. There are several managers who are clearly, you would say, in terms of reputation, in terms of precedence, also you would say are better, than Arne Slot, or are capable of changing, whatever it is that is going on with Liverpool at the moment. So I think. if he fails to qualify for the Champions League, then he is in trouble. But as of this moment, with the season ongoing, it's still, I mean, it's just one point behind Chelsea in the top 5. I would assume that it will be 5 teams going, to the Champions League from England. So I think there's still a chance for him to salvage something. But at the end of the season, I think if he fails to do that, Liverpool, Michael Edwards, and the likes, they will be forced to take a holistic look at how the season, had panned out. 500 million transfer window, his relationship with Salah, deteriorating. You look at all of this, and you also think about the amount of money they would also have to spend, again, in the summer. We would want a manager who is not probably having the best relationship with his players, still at the helm of affairs. So I think for
why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
For Arne Slot, I think he will probably get to the end of the season, but at the end of the day, Champions League football, qualifying for Champions League football would determine if he has his job at the end of the day.
All right, guys, we're wrapping up the show, and we're wrapping up with start, bench, and drop. And today we are going with strikers. Start, bench, and drop. In their prime, Thierry Henry, Andrei Shevchenko, and why are you laughing?
Sheva.
Thierry Henry, Andrei Shevchenko, and Luis Suarez.
Luis Suarez.
You start Luis Suarez. You bench.
Why you give her that look?
Don't say you. Say I will. Which one is you?
No, I'm talking for all of us.
This
is the only answer. This is the only right answer. Luis Suarez.
What is you?
Luis Suarez.
Start, bench, and drop. Okay.
You start Luis Suarez, right? He takes a bite out of the attack. And you bench Thierry Henry and Chevy.
Well, I'm sorry.
You sell Chevy.
I'm sorry. I don't agree with okay.
Okay.
I think I agree with Star Suarez. I think in terms of the striker position, I think he's up there, as one of the greatest of all times. But I would have to bench Chevy. I think in their prime, in terms of strength of these players, I think Chevy not outclass.
Are you serious?
But yeah, I think he's better than Henry.
How?
I think I will take Chevy.
Henry was a better dribbler.
Both are strikers.
Yeah.
I think I would take Chevy ahead of Henry.
I bench
look. The thing about Chevy is you have a lot of people judging him through his time at Chelsea. His time.
No. That's what I said in their prime.
His time at AC Milan.
Yeah.
Or his final season at Dynamo Kiev, down to his time at AC Milan.
In fact, the start of Dynamo Kiev.
I think I'll consider that his prime years. And you look at that, and you look at the amount of goals he scored. You look at the things he had to his game.
Who had more to their game, Henry or Sheva?
Sheva.
It's Henry.
I think I'll take Sheva.
He could dribble,
Henry could dribble,
great chances.
I will take Sheva. Sheva over Henry any day.
The one thing
Sheva over Henry
any day.
Anytime.
No.
Also, the application of Sheva at AC Milan was very different.
Who's the guy that's looking? One of our.
I will take Sheva. I will any day, anytime.
I will.
Okay, start, bench, drop. Let us know. Luis Suarez, Thierry Henry, and Andrei Shevchenko. Guys, enough talk. We need to leave right now. I've had so much fun.
Yeah. So have I. And
coming up against Milan fans, it's not easy, but
and Okechukwu with his cards in his bag, it's so good though.
Alright, guys, remember to always follow us, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share. Follow us on social media, Tribal Football. It's not only conversations we have. We give you real-time news, transfer stories, Nigerian players abroad, how they are faring. Follow us on our social media platforms. The handles are showing on your screen. We also have our website, Tribal Football website. It's shown on your screen. So for all the latest information from the world of football, particularly with Nigerian footballers playing abroad, there are a lot of Nigerians playing abroad that you don't know. Yes, follow us and you get all of this information only with Tribal Football. All right, guys, we'll see you. Have fun.